Hey, Buck. Hey, Dan. How y'all doing today? I thought I put a banner up there on my thing, but I don't see it on my end. Hey, there's Janet. How you doing, Janet? I appreciate you coming by. Hope your weather's doing good today. Oh, I finally got some honeybees coming into my cucumbers, and now I got lots of little cucumbers. Wow, Dan, that's still kind of chilly for 11 o'clock. You know, it was raining. It was pouring this morning. We were kind of cool. We were about around 70. But then all of a sudden, when the rain stopped, sun came out. Now, I bet let me see if it shows on the computer. Now, we're 76 right now, but it feels a lot hotter than that after that rain. That's right, Janet. I sure was glad to see them bees show up. Everything's starting to bloom now, and I got a lot of pollinators cruising around, and it's finally picking up. I was kind of worried for a while because I didn't see no pollinators, but they're here. Hey, Irene, the field guide. How you doing, Irene? Appreciate you being in. I've enjoyed all your videos this week. You did some good ones. I especially like the train video, the way it train horn sounded coming across that bridge. Hey, there's Miss Joy. How you doing, Joy Stewart? Hope you and Scott are doing good today. I don't know if y'all are still getting rain or not in Texas, but we got a whole week's worth coming. They say it's going to rain every day this week here in Georgia. That's right, Dan. It was boring last week when you weren't here because nobody talked about lingua. I got a big old pork roast sitting in the refrigerator I was going to put on this morning and on the smoker, and it was raining too hard. I said, I give up. I'm not even going to try and get it on the smoker today. Oh, that's okay, Irene. I always enjoy your videos. GGW, Dan done beat you to it. He was the first one to say lingua. But that's all right, buddy. I'm glad to have you in here. Hope y'all are doing good. He said he's 67 degrees and they're in Seattle or Washington State, I mean. You getting it all week too, Buck? Yeah. I don't know if it's coming up out of the Gulf or coming out of the west, coming toward us from the west. Yeah. I think it's all the way across the southeastern, well, all the way across the south, right this week. So it must be coming out of the Gulf. I don't know where it's coming from. Hey, there's Dave Neal. How you doing, Dave? I hope you're doing good, brother. What season y'all got? What can you shoot right now? Yeah, you say that, Dan, but I'd know what it was, and that would make it taste different. I mean, that's like certain parts of a pig. I ain't going to eat it either. You know, certain parts of a pig, I'm just not going to eat. Whether it tastes like pork or not, I ain't eating them parts. 72 there. That ain't too bad, GDW. I think it's raining about everywhere right now. Janet says 70 there, 79 there tonight. Well, it sounds like we're all within the ballpark anyway, within about 5 to 10 degrees of each other. Okay, Dan, Oregon, Washington State. I get all those states confused out there. And you know, next week I'll say it's Washington State again, because I'll forget. I can't never remember nothing from week to week. There's Scott Swift. How you doing, brother? Y'all's got a little garden. Looks good, Scott and Joy. Everything's starting. It won't be long. Y'all be blooming. Oh, Irene, we're so dry before today. My backyard is just brown and crunchy. I drove on it with my truck yesterday, and I thought it's probably going to kill it, you know. But luckily, we got rain, a good rain this morning, and now we're going to get it every day this week. So I'm hoping it sinks in and we get enough to bring the grass back. Not to mention the garden. I mean, I've been having to water it every other day, because we've been almost touching 90 most every day this week, off and on. Oh, me too, Joy. I'm loaded with tomatoes, but just none of them are red yet. I'm waiting for them things to turn red, so I'm a good old BLT. Oh, good, Dave. I wasn't sure if deer season was still going there or not, but I was. That's great. I hope you can find some good spots where they're hanging out. Get you another buck. Yeah, it's hard. It's pretty hot here now, Dave. We're in those months where it's starting to go from. We've had a mild summer so far, but we're just now starting to hit the humidity. And when it comes in, it's pretty much over for us. It starts getting in the 90s and close to 100 then. Oh, Joy, I just never have really liked fried green tomatoes. I'll eat them. My mama loves them, but I don't know. I like them better once they turn red. That's the kind of tomatoes I like. But I will eat a fried green tomato. It just ain't my favorite. I don't want to waste all my good red tomatoes on green tomatoes right now, though, Dan. I'm trying to save them. I tell you, I did plant a bunch of little Tommy Toes, you know, little salad tomatoes. And I'll eat them things off the vine while I'm working in the garden. I'll eat 8 or 10 of them things at a time. Ah, Dan. All right, Dan. You got to eat a tomato sandwich if I'm going to have to eat lingua. Yeah, that's true, GGW. I'll give you that. Oh, really, Dave? Well, I don't reckon you can shoot them in public campground there though. So maybe you can get just outside the campgrounds and you pop one over there. And yes, it does. It is almost tropical humid. Once it gets to a certain point here, it gets miserable. Ah, Joy, me and Scott know. We've been around long enough to know, don't we, Scott? Hey, there's Brian, Poverty Hills Adventures. How you doing, brother? I appreciate you coming by, Brian. Hope your weather's good there. GGW. I can too, but I love me some tomato sandwiches. I get tired of tomato sandwiches. I have to beef them up and put a little bacon on them, though. You know, everything's better with bacon. I like BLTs. Now, I could eat a BLT every day. But I put a lot of those little Tommy toes in my salads, too. That's good. Yeah, that's true, Dan. I'm proud for y'all for doing that. That's right, Scott. We know what it's all about. Dave, I appreciate you coming in, buddy. Let me know if you get on some deer out there now. Have a great day at work. Good, Brian. That's good. I'm glad to hear that, buddy. Probably good fishing weather right now. Well, yeah, I'll give you that one, Dan. But if I eat trilingual, I'm gonna tell you I don't like it either. Then it'll be a draw. We've been about 87 every day this week, except until this rain came in. Tuesday, I'm starting a beaver job. So it's going to be probably 87 or hotter, plus the humidity. It'd be about 95 to 100% humidity if it's raining. And that is going to be, next week is going to be a miserable week. I am not looking forward to it. Joy, Dan's just a little weird. Oh, is that right, Brian? That's something I've never tried to use. I always wanted to, but I've never tried a fly rod before. Most of the streams we got here are so thick around the water. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know if you could get in there with a fly rod, though. GGW, that's exactly what I envision if lingua to be like a red sponge. Same, yeah. That's what it reminds. What I would think it would be, like a red sponge. Oh yeah, Irene. I don't do that this time of year, and I tell everybody I don't do it this time of year. But this is a good fella I've known for a good while. And it's the beavers. There's a lake behind their church, and the beavers have come out of that lake, and they're damming up their retention ponds, and there's a lot of beaver in that one lake. So I told him I'd go do it. I'm gonna give it 5 days. Whatever I can catch in 5 days, just to get them out of there for them, because they're doing a lot of damage. I told him, I said, I'll catch what I can in 5 days, and after that, I'll come back in the fall if you want me to. But I'm not going to spend more than 5 days down there. So I would think I'll catch 4 or 5 out of there, but you don't never know. Dan, you'll eat anything on a pizza, Dan. You're the only person I know that got a 100 topping pizza. Oh, Scott, you'll never talk me into it, buddy. I just I can't do it. I can't get past the thought of it. Is that right, Irene? I just didn't think you could get, you know, how you have to whip it back and forth. I don't know. Now, if there's some places in the stream in North Georgia, if it was wide enough where I could get in the stream with my waders, I think I could probably do okay with that. But some of that mountain laurel and all just hangs over the. It's hard sometimes to sling a spinning rod out there. But I would love to try one. I've always thought fly rods were cool. I just like the way they work. Well, I'm going to let you and GGW debate that one, Dan. I usually give, here lately, Scott, I've been giving, when I skin them out, I always give Stoney the skulls and the tails because he boils the skulls down. He does a good job with the beaver skulls. And then here lately, he's been trying to do a wallet project or something, make something out of the tails. Huh. Well, Irene, I just don't think I could get past what it is. I don't know. Now, if Dan ever makes it down here, we might do it, but I'm not doing it on my own. Hey, Gizzard Gary, how you doing, brother? G23's here, so of course we're talking about lingua. So. Oh, is that right, Brian? Well, I mean, you know, it's one of those deals where we don't really have trout here where I live, so I have to drive up to North Georgia to the mountains, and it's usually, I mean, if anything, it's a once a year deal. So I just never bought a fly rod because there's not that many opportunities to use it. I mean, I guess I could catch brim with it and everything else, but I just never have. But I still want to one of these days. Oh, Scott, I've used my beaver tails for you know, render them down for beaver tail oil and put it in some of my baits. But Stoney's he's wide open on doing this stuff with these tails, so I just been giving him mine. But it does make good, yeah, tail oil. That's what I've always done with mine. Yeah, I'm sure, Irene. And I know you've been doing that all your life, so I know you got some good gear too. Uh, you know, I don't know. I wish we'd had more opportunity for trout fishing here like you do up north. We just, like I said, I think the water stays too warm here. North Georgia, we got them, but most of it is stock trout. You do have some native trout, but I don't think it's nothing like y'all got them up north. Oh, is that right, Brian? I never heard that. Hey, Gary, I can sling a spinning rod now, but I just, now one thing I cannot use is a bait caster. I'll have that thing bird nested up so bad. I gave up on bait casters years ago. Hey, there's James, 223 DMR. What's going on, brother? Enjoyed your videos you sent me. It could have been oxtail or something, GGW. You'll never know. Well, don't hurt yourself, James. Yeah, yeah, Dan. Yeah, but see, ours have forests on them. Y'all's just got rock everywhere. 66. Well, it won't be long before I catch you, TGW. If you stop having them for a couple of years, I'll catch you, GGW. Well, I'm sure it's like anything else, Dan. You got to know how to cook that stuff. Yeah, me too, GGW. I just always wanted to try it. Hey, speaking of groundhogs, Irene, the other day I was coming through town here, and now there's no water other than maybe a little creek or a drainage ditch. And there was either a groundhog or a smaller beaver. I'd say, a 1 year old beaver came right across this. It came down these people's steps right across the street and went down through this vacant lot. And I kept looking at it, and I still hadn't figured out if it was a beaver or a groundhog. But I mean, this thing was, I don't know, it was over 2 feet long. I didn't know how big groundhogs get because I've never really seen a groundhog here. But I think it was a beaver. I just couldn't tell. I couldn't tell what kind of tail it had because from the side, a beaver tail looks long. So I don't know. It could have been a groundhog. Oh, boo-hoo, Dan. Our mountains are still prettier. Nothing like the Smoky Mountains. And our mountains go all the way to Maine, so take that. There you go, Scott. Now I imagine that'd be a fight. A catfish on a fly rod. That's awesome, Janet. I don't know if we have bonefish here or not. Uh, I'm sure we got a fish that's similar to it, or either we call it something different. But use a fillet, one of those electric fillet knives, Gary, or just use a regular fillet knife. I don't have one of the electric ones, but I know people that do, so they can go through some fish quick. Yeah, that's true, Dan. It is. It is a lot of smoke from the moonshine stills. The road my daddy grew up on down here was called Smoky Hollow Road. Oh, dogfish, same thing, Scott. I figured that might be. I figured they just call them, you know, by different names. Different places call fish different names, like crappie and crappie. D. Thomas, how you doing, Don? I enjoyed your videos today, buddy. I'm starting to catch up on some videos. Hope you and Kat are doing good. And congratulations to Kat. She hit her 1,000 subscribers the other day. Yeah, see, there you go, James. Mudfish, dogfish. I think they're all the same fish. It just where it depends on where you grow up. Yeah, that's what I thought, Gary. I thought, about getting a electric fillet knife because everybody says it just makes it so much easier. I just never have pulled the trigger and got one. Oh, that's awesome, Janet. Yeah, smoked fish is good. I used to smoke fish some on my smoker out here too. It's not quite as good as a real smoked fish, but I mean it gets a good flavor to it. That's pretty much the way I do mine, Gary. We got some good sized cats around here, especially on the rivers. But yeah, I usually fish them on the bottom too, or either put me a line off of it about 12, 16 inches off, tee it off, and hang me some bait up here too. Or I may do both of them, one on the bottom and one just off the bottom. That's true, GGW. Y'all do. Y'all got those what is that? The redwood forest or whatever? The redwoods that are up there. Oh man, Don, y'all been cutting junipers for a while, hadn't you? Seemed like I saw a cat cutting some junipers a little while back. Y'all gonna have a great garden though. You did a good job. The garden spot looks good this year. Who's counting, Dan? I'll still always like the Smokies and the up through there. If I wasn't an old man, I always wanted to do the Appalachian Trail, but I couldn't do it now. Yeah, I love doing some catfishing though, Gary. That's when I was younger. That's all we did was catfish. My daddy was a big cat fisherman, so we catfished and brim fished. Get an occasional bass every now and then, but uh, you can't beat good catfish. I like to cut them in little catfish bites or either strips. Catfish strips. Man, fry that up. I love some catfish. Okay, Tim S. That's cool, brother. Tell your son I said hey and stay dry because it's gonna be raining all week. Hey, Don, doesn't the Appalachian Trail comes up to Maine, doesn't it? Doesn't it end up in Maine? Yeah, I like Smoky Mountains, Dan. You just got to watch out when folks holler and squeal, you know. There's probably a few rough places going up through there. But I love it up there. I would have moved up there if it wasn't. I just don't like all them hills. I'm a flatlander. I can't stand tromping up and down the sides of them mountains, especially trapping. Trapping would be terrible in the mountains. Okay, Don, I thought it did because one of my friend's son hiked that thing all the way up from Georgia up to Maine. And I forget how long it took him, but he did the whole thing. He through hiked it all the way up. Yeah, Dan, I saw him. Y'all got some pretty mountains now. I'll give you that. I love riding through any mountains. I just don't want to get out and hike nothing. I'm not much of a hiking kind of person. I'm more of a sit down by the river kind of person. I love seeing it. I'm just not going to hike very very far to get in there to see it. Well, Dan, I'm just the opposite. Being a flatlander, I'm pretty good with that. You throw a mountain in on me, then I got to figure out how to get around it. Yeah, I saw videos on her, Irene. She was an amazing woman. Uh, if I did it in sections, it'd probably take me 10 years. I mean, I've actually done 15 miles of the starting of it, but that's as far as I ever made it was 15 miles, and that felt like forever. But it is pretty up through there. I always thought if I was going to do it, the best way to do it would be fly to Maine and do it, come hike it back home. So some of it be downhill anyway. Okay, Don. I know that last section up there in Maine to me looked like there was a lot of rock outcroppings and stuff. You had to do some serious climbing on that last part from what I saw, what I've seen on YouTube anyway. And I always thought, man, that'd be the roughest section right there. But I know that thing goes through some beautiful, beautiful land between here and Maine. Is that right, Scott? I've never been on an elk hunt before. I'm sure Colorado is beautiful. Walter Davis, how you doing, buddy? I appreciate you coming in, Walter. Hope you've had a good week. How's your weather? You in the mid 70s right now, or? That's pretty cool, Gary. I guess, if you learn to pay more attention, you get a better idea of where you're going. You know, out here, if you get lost in the woods here, you better have a GPS or a compass or something, because we got a lot of swamps and big pine. I mean, just acres and acres of pretty good sized pine trees and stuff. And I can get turned around pretty quick. If I'm following water, I'm pretty good. But if I can't get near a stream to figure out where I'm at, I can get turned around pretty quick. Well, Irene, that's one. Yeah, I have seen that too, that they had closed that. I That's one thing I would worry about is bear, uh, because that's a lot of big woods that goes through. And some reason in Georgia, we're seeing a lot. There's a lot more bear active this year than I think even on the trail than what normally is seen. I guess right now it's this time of year is because of the food source, but you know, that's the thing. You don't know. You really don't want to hike it in the dead of winter, but at the same time, it'd be nice to hike it when the bears are in, hibernating. That's pretty cool, GGW. I kind of like walking the roadways anyway. Well, I mean, if they got good established trails, I like to walk trails, but you can cover a lot of ground on the fire roads. Most of our national forests got a lot of fire roads too. Of course, they're pretty primitive fire roads, but yeah, Scott, I bet that was cool. I've never been to Colorado, any of them places like that out west. I wonder, how do those people? Do they have people that will bring them food at certain points, Don? Because there's no way you could pack enough food for that last 100 miles. Oh, low 80s, man. I know you're ready to get out on the boat. Or I guess you. Or I don't know if you're. I don't know if you're on the boat on the water now or just working on the boat. But anybody that ain't never seen Walter's channel, you ought to check out Walter's boat. He's got a yacht. That thing's huge. Is that right, Brian? Yeah, I was pretty good on mountains and hills when I was younger, but I can't do it no more. I get tuckered out too quick. Yeah, Brian, that's kind of me. If I don't have any landmarks, if everything looks the same, I can get turned around pretty quick. Oh, James, quit all that working out. You wouldn't be tired. I feel perfectly fine sitting here in my lazy boy today. White River Forest by Kimley. That's where y'all were. Is that where y'all were elk hunting, Scott? There's old Woody's trapping. How you doing, Woody? Woody been nailing a bunch of fish here lately. I'm going Tuesday, Woody. It got put off a few extra days, so we're gonna have rain every day this week up here in my part of Georgia. So it's gonna be a wet week, but I think we can pull a few of them out of there. Oh, I don't blame you, Irene. Plus, you've already had one in the yard this year, so I just know on the news I've heard here there's a lot of them's been coming into the cities, and I know it. I know it's after trash cans and bird feeders and stuff. It's got to be, but most of them been younger bears. But you know, I mean, they're clearing so much land. There's just not nowhere for those bears to go. They're going to come into those subdivisions. It's just the way it is. I hate that was a bigger bear, though, that run you off there. Yeah, Woody been catching some good bass this year. Man, Don, that's a lot of food to pack in. I'd have to have me somebody with a drone to drop me off some food or something. You know, it's hard to carry a case of Coca-Colas that far up them mountains. 66. Well, y'all might be the coolest in here, James. Most everybody else is at least in a like 68 to 70. Well, I would definitely have to have me care packages, Irene. If I'm gonna walk that far, I'd have to be eating snacks all the way. I'd have to get Judy to mail me a big old pack of that maple brownies. It's been raining here too, James. There's Rob, New York Outcast. How you doing, Rob? Oh, okay, Walter. Well, it's sure looking good. I mean, you were doing a lot of work to it last year. It's a good looking boat. Or I'd call it a ship. It's big enough. Okay, Scott. I figured that's what you were talking about. But I don't know anything about them mountains up there, so. Buck's 86. Let me see. We're up to 77 now, Buck, so we're still cooler than you. We've been 87 all week, but yeah, I don't much believe that either, Irene. I think there's many more than that in a 20-mile radius. Here, anyway, in Georgia, North Georgia, and South Georgia. South Georgia got a lot of black bears. 82 for Rob. Y'all are a little bit warmer than us today. Of course, I guess it's a little cold front came in with all this rain. It'll go back up, I'm sure. Oh, is that right, Woody? He lives in North Georgia. Well, I know South Georgia's got a lot of bear too, though, Woody. I imagine they get moving pretty good certain times of the year. There you go, Walter. I bet Rob could do some wonders on that boat, remodeling that boat. Rob, I'll tell you this, his boat is a whole lot bigger than that apartment you showed on your last video. Oh, okay, Dan. Well, I'm out on that, I think. Well, that's all right, Woody. We got the gist of what you were saying. Well, there you go, Irene. I mean, we all know that the coyote population is just wreaking havoc on in every state, really. Every state. But I think we're finally starting to get a little bit of a handle on the coons in Georgia. They I think since they opened up year-round trapping and coon hunting here in Georgia, I think they've really knocked the population back down some. Hopefully, our turkey population will start striving again after probably within 5 years, I would guess, if people keep up doing what they're doing right now. Hey, there's Judy in spirit. How you doing, Miss Judy? Yeah, I hope you're having a great day. How's y'all's weather at the house? Yeah, James, I know there's some big ones in South Georgia because I used to hog hunt down there. And we saw a couple of good sized bears down below it was off the Okmulgee River down south of Macon. It's a good sized black bear down there. Wow. Okay, Walter. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a constant battle, with the salt water and all. But it's still, I love it. I love that boat, man. That's a beautiful boat. Hey, Mark J. Larson, how you doing, brother? Thank you a bunch for coming in, Mark. Hope you're doing good. Judy says she got a lot of rain. Oh, no moose permits this year? Mark J. Larson, how's your weather today? Judy, I hope y'all warm up enough to get your garden going. Wow, is that right, Don? That's for sure, Irene. That's for sure. Yeah, the Ultima's got a lot on it too, Woody. I think really all three of the rivers in South Georgia have probably got a good bear population now. And I swear we got some panthers down there. They just say we don't. Yeah, Rob, I guess that's true. Hey, I'd love that, Walter. If I could find a day off to do something every now and then, I'd love to take a trip up there. I've been saying I was going to do it. I don't know when the heck I'll be able to do it. That's exactly right, Don. That's just like the coyote deal, you know. I had this woman, pretty rich folks, wanted me to trap coyotes down there, but they didn't want me to put the coyote traps on the trails where they walk their dogs. Well, where are they seeing the coyotes? On the trails where they're walking their dogs. So I told them, I said, you can't have it both ways. Either you need to keep the dogs off the trail for a week or so and then let me get in there, or either I can't do it. So I didn't do it. Wow, Mark, y'all might have the record today then. I think the lowest we had was about 60. James was in the low 60s. I hope y'all get the rain. We're getting rain here. Oh no, Judy. Well, if you need some more beans, you just email me and I'll get you some more beans. I got plenty of dry beans. Yeah, I know they are, James. Been too many people seen them, too many sightings of them for them to deny it anymore. Yeah, Woody, we ain't that far from Florida. They come up them rivers. I guarantee you they do. Yeah, I think they have too, Woody. I really do. Oh, there's no problem, Judy. We'll get you squared away if you need some more now. Well, Irene, this was a real fancy quail preserve, and I mean the fella that owned it wasn't that bad, but the lady was. He'd tell me to do one thing, and she'd tell me to do another, or she'd tell me don't do it. So it's one of those deals where you don't know who's running the show. They told me they had a beaver problem down there too, and I said, "Well, I can take care of that while I'm running coyote traps." And then she comes back and says, "No, don't trap the beaver." I wound up after I had traps in there 3 or 4 days, and I finally pulled them out. I just told them I couldn't help them. I mean, it was more of a hassle than what I would have got out of there. So I said, I'm not going to do that. The cattle farms I got right now, the folks they're perfect. They tell me where the cows are at, and they tell me what area to trap, and they leave me alone. I do anything I want to down there, and I never had a bit of trouble down there. It's just so much easier to trap in that place than it was at quail preserve. So I just, I kind of pick and choose my jobs nowadays. I've been doing it long enough to know what's going to be a pain in the rear and what's not going to be a pain in the rear. So, I mean, I'll probably lose a few good spots, but I guarantee you I'd do away with a lot of headaches right off the bat. Oh, Woody, it's been terrible bad here. My yard's just crunchy. But now we got rain this morning, and they're showing rain for 5 days, Woody. So maybe y'all will get some of that. Oh, y'all got them too, Scott. I bet y'all got them good in Texas. Hey there's Squirrel. How you doing? Oh, we're doing good. Shirley, we just yapping a little bit. I hope y'all's garden's doing good. Hope y'all been doing good. We definitely got some early this morning, Woody. Well, I'm not going to say that, Irene, but they weren't easy to deal with. Let's put it that way. Oh, well, we got 15 folks in here. Look, I want to ask y'all something. Owls Outdoors. If any of y'all don't have Owls Outdoors, how about if somebody run Owls Outdoors channel, please? His wife needs a double lung transplant, and he's asking people to watch as many of his videos as he can because he'll get a little money out of YouTube doing it. And I've been every night when I go to sleep, I've been running one of his playlists. And I just cut the sound down and let it run all night. But he has a GoFundMe account. And Irene, I don't know if you have access to it on Facebook, but if there's any way you could post a link to his Facebook, his GoFundMe account, that would be awesome. I don't know how to do all that on here, but I'm pretty sure you're friends with Al on Facebook. I'd like to try and get that out here. I just don't know how to do it. But yeah, they're in a pretty bad. His wife's been pretty sick for a good while. So if nothing else, if y'all will just watch his videos and watch him at night and just let him run, at least he'll get the revenue off that, and hopefully it'll help him out. Oh, okay, Janet. No, they raise quail out there, and then they have those big dog hunts out there with their hunting dogs. It's a fancy place. Oh, there's Pat, French Country Blessing. How you doing, Miss Pat? I hope you're doing good today. I enjoyed your last video. Your yard's looking great. Thank you, Irene. Yeah, Irene ran Al's channel. Any of y'all that can help him out and just watch some of his videos, I'm sure it'll help their situation out. Thank you, Shirley. Yeah, and Al's a great fella. If y'all don't got him, pick him up. But right now, he really needs the watch hours, so it'll help his wife's surgery money. Oh, all of y'all running. I appreciate all y'all doing a good job on that. I'm glad y'all can do it because y'all know I don't know how to even put anybody's link in here. Thanks, GGW. Like I said, if y'all just, when you go to sleep tonight, just put his channel on, hit his playlist. I think his hunting videos are the most videos, but I just turn the sound down, set it over there, and let it run all night. You know. Oh, Janet, it's Al's Outdoors. Everybody's posting links to it. I appreciate it if you watch some of his videos. And Pat, we're so glad you came in. I imagine y'all got some rain today. We got a lot of rain this morning. Sounds like a rainy week ahead, too. Thank you, GGW. Thank everybody that's running Al's link. What the heck, Irene? How did the bridge blow up? Blow up? That sounds like somebody had to have done that. I mean, a bridge just don't blow up. Mark, is that the GoFundMe thing, or is that Al's channel? Or are you running Irene's link? Thank you, Janet. That'll help him out. Hey, Sunfish for Fish, how you doing? I appreciate you being in, brother. We're all trying to get Al's Outdoors. Get some folks to watch his videos to help his wife out. Oh, okay, Shirley. When I watched it the other night, it had a playlist. I wonder if something happened where they took the playlist off because so many people were going to it or something. But I appreciate that, Shirley. I know it's going to help him out. Sunfish for Fish, how you been? Hope your weather's doing good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Rob. That's not a normal thing. Of course, it could be like here in Atlanta, where the homeless people started a fire under the bridge, and it finally burnt so hot it melted the asphalt, and the bridge fell in. We had that happen 2 or 3 times. Oh gosh, that's bad, Dan. Okay, Irene. I just saw Al had posted it on his Facebook channel yesterday, and I was trying to figure out how to copy and paste it, but I don't know how to do that. If you see it, I appreciate it. If not, I'll get Al to send me a copy of it somehow, and then I'll put it in my community tab. It's Shasta Valley Outdoors. How you doing, Shasta? Hope y'all are not too hot right now. Oh, it happened this morning, Scott? I didn't see. I hadn't even watched any news of this morning. Yeah, it doesn't sound right, does it, Walter? No, not at all, Rob. Oh, is that right, Sunfish? It's been kind of doing that here off and on during the week, but we finally got a good one this morning. And now we're showing a lot, but you know what usually happens is it'll show a 60 or 80% chance of rain, then 2 hours later it'll show a 40%. And by the time it's supposed to start raining, it just dies out when it gets to us. Usually Alabama gets hammered, and then by the time it gets to us, it dries out and falls apart. Go on, James, get you something to eat. Get you some lingua. Shasta says it's cloudy. Well, everybody here has been between the low 60s to up in the 80s. But some folks been dry and some folks been real wet. We've been dry for 2 weeks now. We're about to get wet, I think. That's good though, Shasta, as long as it don't cause any lightning fires and keep y'all from being so dry maybe this year. Oh, me. Sunfish, that's way too hot. That's getting to be inside weather. Oh, okay, Scott. It was on your phone. Oh, thank you, Pat. I need to do an update on it. I hadn't done an update since everything bloomed out. Georgia boy 44, how you doing? You been on the lake today or any time this week? I hadn't seen any new videos. Chris from the 740, what's going on, Chris? I appreciate you being in there, brother. Good job donating that prize pack on Georgia Shooters Connection the other night. That was nice. Nice optics. Yeah, it rained real hard this morning, Pat, but then it cleared out of here. Now I think it's warmed up pretty good now. Yeah, here too, Georgia boy. Lasted about 2 hours and then it cleared up. It's supposed to start back about 8 o'clock, I think. The way they're showing, it's going to come back in about 8 o'clock. Yeah, really, Rob. That's probably the truth. Hey, cheese and crackers work. I got me some hot wings for when this is over. Since I couldn't cook my pork butt, I might do that tomorrow. Yeah, me too, Chris. I was real glad to see that. I didn't know he had been on here for like 6 years. Wow, that's awesome, Georgia boy. That's some good fish right there. I've got to get out and fish one of these days coming up. I get done with this beaver job, I'm gonna have to get the boat out. Oh yeah, I got me some hot wings. I had me a pork butt ready to go on the grill on the smoker this morning, and it was pouring so hard I couldn't get out there and get the smoker going. So I guess I'm gonna be having pork butt tomorrow. But I sure was looking forward to it. Oh, Janet. Janet, we enjoyed having you in here. Thanks so much for hanging out so long. We always enjoy having you here. Hope your signal gets better, but if not, you have a great day. I hope we see you next weekend. Woo, that sounds good, Georgia boy. Well, I sure was hankering for some pork butt, but it just ain't gonna happen. I don't, even if I went out there and put it on, it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning before it'd be ready. So I'll get it out. I'll get it out there tomorrow and get it on the smoker. I think it's gonna rain again in the morning though. So as quick as it quits raining tomorrow, I'll get it on the smoker tomorrow. Oh yeah, I enjoyed your yard video. Looked beautiful, Pat. Oh, good, Judy. That's my second favorite. Anything pork is my favorite, but pork butt's my favorite. Then pork spare ribs are my second favorite. And you know, I cooked me a big old mess of cabbage night before last, but I already ate all that. And I got some greens. I got turnips and collards ready to pick. So I'm either going to pick them tonight or tomorrow, depending on the rain, and start getting them cooked up. I got to take my mama a mess of them down there to her. Oh, burgers sound mighty fine too, Don. I love me a good old burger on the grill. Oh, is that right, Pat? He's already beat me to it then, hasn't he? That's all right. That man knows what he's doing. Us Georgia folks got to have us some barbecue. I finally got my hummingbird feeders out. I've had 2 little hummingbirds hanging out pretty steady this week. Okay, Woody's looking for some stickers. So any of y'all got any stickers? You know I ain't got none, Woody. Anybody's got any stickers that want to trade a sticker with Woody? Y'all look at his post right there now. He says his P.O. box is in his about section. So y'all go over and swap some stickers with Woody. I've got to get some stickers made. I just hadn't done it yet. But there you go, Woody. Maybe somebody will start messaging you. Get Buck to send you one of his. Buck's got some cool stickers. Judy, I was sitting there a minute ago and a daggone wasp fell off the ceiling and landed on my table. I don't know how he got in. I guess I left the screen door crack that opened, and he got in here, and I was sitting there typing away, and all of a sudden he landed right here. So I smacked him a good one. But we've got lots of wasps and lots of carpenter bees and honeybees right now. Luckily, no yellow jackets coming yet. Ooh, yeah, slow cooker's good, Pat. And I have seen one hornet, but I don't know where that hornet come from, but it must be a nest somewhere. Yeah, you do, Georgia boy. Everybody needs a sticker. I've been so slow about getting one done. I really need to get one made. Is that right, Don? I bet he won't get on it once it's lit. Oh, gosh. I hope not, Irene. You really got to move down here and get out from up there. This is the first, of course, I just got the feeder out. I saw one hummingbird about a week ago, which is what made me think about putting them out. But, you know, they were late coming here this year because I'm just now starting to see them. Yeah, Mark, I knew you and Woody probably had swapped stickers already. That's not a bad idea, Georgia boy. Just start a second channel and just do a Georgia boys fishing channel, you know. I'm kind of the same way. Some of my videos kind of get, you know, it's kind of weird. I do so many different weird things on my video. It's not just fishing and trapping. I do more other stuff than I do that. But a lot of times they don't like anything to commingle like that. But I think you get a lot of hits because you got some good fishing videos. I mean, but keep your gun channel too, because the guy, you know, the ones of us that like gun stuff, keep watching that, of course. I'll be darned, Judy. I've never heard that. I mean, I don't know. I got coons that'll come in the house with you if it's hungry enough. Hey, Mark, Strapping Outdoors. How you doing, Mark? Appreciate you coming by today, buddy. Hope y'all are having good weather. Judy, I have seen very few honeybees, and that's had me worried because last year I had a good amount of honeybees. This year, all my pollinators are basically bumblebees, carpenter bees, and wasps. I have not seen hardly any honeybees this year. I've seen that too, Don. I've seen birds take the hair and make nests out of them like that. Yeah, she does, Judy. Cat's got some long, pretty hair. All right, scratch and sniff stickers are the way to go. For all right, Rob, you got to explain that one to me. Is that for the animals? Oh, are you talking about? All right, you have to explain that one to me, Rob. Yeah, I just now did it, Georgia boy. I'm late. Hey, Boxcar Jerry, what's going on, Jerry? Hope you're having a great week. You been able to get out and fish any, Jerry? That could be then, Don. It could just be everything's late this year. Huh. I don't know. Then next thing you know, Georgia boy, people will be calling me the aardvark trap. Rob's had wasp and carpenter. I imagine you get to see a lot of carpenter bee damage, Rob. You probably get calls all the time for carpenter bees drilling holes in all that wood. Okay, Jerry, me either. One of these days, maybe we'll both get time to go, buddy. Oh, I can do that, Dan. That's no problem. Matter of fact, I could get some beaver stink that you don't even have to scratch it. It'll be there forever. That stuff Dan Davis sent me the other day when the package leaked out. When I opened that, I had that stuff all over me on my pants, and yeah, it was you didn't have to scratch nothing. You definitely sniffed it. Yeah, I'd like to. I'd sure like to get out and do some fishing. I have not got to. Those lakes that I used to fish my kayak in last. Well, it's been 2 years ago. I didn't even fish much last year, but they made those lakes pay lakes now. They're county reservoirs, but it used to be you could just go fish, and now it costs there's 3 lakes and it costs you $300 a year to get a pass to go in there and fish, which sounds kind of outrageous, but for 3 different lakes for a year, that's not terrible. Uh, and since they made people start paying, a lot of I'd say 70% of the people quit fishing there, which means within the next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be some awesome fishing in those lakes. So I'm probably going to bite the bullet and join it next year. I don't know if summer's half over now. I probably won't join it this year, but I'm hoping to start catching some good fish out of those reservoirs. Thing is, it's perfect for kayak fishing. They're not big lakes, but it's perfect kayak lakes. Is that right, Mark? Well, we're getting all y'all's rain tomorrow. I mean, we got it this morning, but for the rest of the week, we're supposed to get rain every day. So I guess it's coming out of Louisiana and heading straight for us. But yeah, you better keep the boss happy. You won't be getting no more fresh bread. Yeah, Pat, that's the last time I've even been fishing. I hate to admit that, but I haven't done a fishing video in over a year now. So hopefully I'll get out and get to make one video. Even if I have to take the grandkids brim fishing somewhere, I want to get out and fish. Yeah, Jerry, there are, but there's not a lot of access on the sides of the roads around here. It's got nowadays, they don't want you to pull over on the sides of the roads to find any place to fish. I mean, if I go to a state park or something, I got to pay a day registration or day fee anyway. So I'd rather pay the yearly pass and go whenever I want to. And if I fished for, 5 or 10 times, it'll pay for that. Because it's like $5 or $10 to fish in those lakes each day you go. So I don't know. I don't mind it. All right, James, better run on, get you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. Yeah, George boy, I think you need to go and start your separate fishing channel. That'd be pretty cool. Dan, you keep trying, but I don't think it's going to happen, Dan. Hey, Gene, reloading from the hot pot. How you doing, brother? I appreciate you coming by. Man, I enjoyed that Taurus 357 Magnum. You got me eyeballing it now. Gosh, Jerry, I think that's worse than us. Man, my yard is brown. I know y'all's has got to be browning out pretty bad, unless y'all got sprinklers, lawn sprinklers. Really, Don? That's something. It's kind of weird how the different sections of the United States, have totally different weather patterns. Yeah, Irene, I know. My ex-wife has been going through that. She's been looking for a house for over a year now, and those ads are so photoshopped that when she gets to one, it's totally different than what she was expecting. So, but you are going to have to. I hate that you have to leave though a place you've been so long because of the neighbors. That's ridiculous when you get chased out of where you've grown up your whole life. Judy, thank you so much for being here. And like I said, now you need any seeds, you just text me and I'll get you some seeds. I hope y'all dry out soon. And y'all have a wonderful week. Hey, Rattle Trap Fishing, how you doing, brother? I appreciate you stopping by. Hope y'all been catching some good ones. Oh, yeah, you can't beat that fresh bread, Mark. No, actually, I'm starting Tuesday. The rain got me messed up, and I didn't want to start it when it was soaking wet, so we're getting a break Tuesday. I'm going to get traps out Tuesday, and then I'll just have to check them every day in the rain after that. But hopefully I'll pick up a few this week and get them out of that lake for them. Dan, I actually picked up a special permit the other day. I just got to fill it out because yes, on my birthday I'll be 62, so I'll be able to get I think a senior license after that. Oh, I have to remember that, Georgia boy. I got a buddy of mine that's got a little private lake down below me in Coweta County. I may just have to take them. That'd be perfect. July 3rd. I have to remember that. And the ground monsters will appreciate that information. Yeah, I tell you what, Gene, Taurus, I've got some older ones and I got a lot of newer ones. And it's amazing how much better their guns are now, rather than the guns from 20 years ago. I got a 45, Taurus 45, and that thing is heavy. I mean, it's a good gun and it still shoots good, but it's like carrying a tank. But, they've lightened them up. They made them so much more ergonomic. I like all my Tauruses now. I'm going to look at those 357s. Is that right, Rob? Well, we're getting some this week, Gene, but we've been super bad dry here too. Pat, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We enjoyed having you in. And tell the hubby I said hey, and y'all enjoy your barbecue. Hopefully I'll enjoy mine tomorrow. Thank you a bunch, Pat. Well, that's good, Don. There's so many people. That smoke was rough on them. Some of those videos Irene showed I couldn't believe that. I thought, I can't imagine what it would be like in Quebec or somewhere. It would have been unbelievably smoky. Hey, CNT Designs in Arms, how you doing, brother? I appreciate you coming by. Hope you're doing good. Enjoyed your last video. All right, Woody, thank you a bunch, brother. And you have a great week. I'll let you know if I get on the beavers this week. Well, I guess you'll know because I'll probably do a video on it. But have a great week, Woody. Oh, we hadn't got to go lately, Rattle Trap? We were just talking about that. Yeah, I haven't been this year. I hadn't been in a while. Georgia boy's the only one that's got to go fishing here this year. Oh, that's fine. That's fine, Shirley. Don't worry about it. I don't mind if you're off in the distance. I just appreciate you being here. Oh yeah, I like especially shell cracker, Georgia boy. Clark Hill was the best place we ever got on shell crackers. I'd like to make a trip back over there. Oh, you do got the Model 66? I'm going to look at them, Georgia boy. The only revolver I got a pair of those little ultralight Smith 38s, but I haven't had a 357 in years. Like a dummy. I traded one and I got one stole out of my car, but I've been seriously thinking about wanting to get me another one. So I would definitely probably look at that Taurus. I like all my Tauruses. Tauruses shoot good to me. That little TX-22 is the best shooting gun I ever had. And it's cheap to shoot too. Thank you, Pat. C&T, we're doing good. We're just getting ready for a lot of rain. It's supposed to start tomorrow and rain about 7 days, but we need it, so I'm not complaining. It's gonna be mighty wet beaver trapping in it for a week. I ain't looking forward to that, but hey, Don, I appreciate you being in here so long, brother. I'm only gonna hang in here a little while longer, but tell Kat I said hey, and I hope y'all's garden does good and y'all stay dry enough to keep it planted. Brian, that's no problem, brother. I appreciate you hanging out in here so long. Hope you get out and get you some more trout fishing going. Hope you got to get you a few turkey too, if your turkey season's still open. Toros, I hadn't seen that, Dan. Is it a revolver or what? I mean, I've got a G2, a G3. I got that TX22. I got a PT940, a PT90, a PT45, 945. I've never heard of the Toro. I bought that 45 because that 40 kicks so much. It's kind of all over the place, when I shoot it. But that 45 shoots nice, and it doesn't move a whole lot. Oh, okay. All right, Dan. I hadn't seen that yet. I'll check them out. But I really like the look of that one Gene had on his channel. Is that right, C&T? Where are you at? Because we've been so dry that we've been super dry for 2 weeks. We haven't had any rain on our end of the Chattahoochee River. Yeah, but I bet that's high dollar. That's probably a high dollar 357 right there, Georgia boy. Those Kimbers are high. Oh, I bet so, Gene. That's the thing about Taurus. They're reasonably priced, for a good quality gun. They're not like when I bought my first Taurus, I didn't think it was that hot of a gun, but now that's a 20-year-old gun. And that's back when they were selling all those Star 45s, had the big star on it. I don't even know who made it. Norinco may have made it. But I went there and was looking at those, and the guy said, "You don't want to buy that gun." He said, "At least buy this Taurus." So I bought the Taurus. And it shoots good. Like I said, for a 45, it's a heavy enough bullet and a heavy enough frame. It shoots good. But it is a heavy gun. But these new ones are just so much better. Okay, Columbus. Well, I can't believe y'all have got that much water and we're not getting anything here. That's crazy. unless that water's coming from up north all the way down the Chattahoochee, we're just not getting any. It's been over 2 weeks since we've had any measurable rain here at CNT. So I don't know. At one time, now Woody and them were getting more than I was getting here in Middle Georgia. Yeah, Kimbers are high. I know Kimbers are high dollar, or they were. A buddy of mine he had a couple of Kimbers. Oh, is that right, Dan? Well, I'm looking. Like I said, I hadn't been looking hard because I've got pretty much all the guns that I really need, but I've got the stuff to reload 357 and 38. So, I've been kind of thinking about picking the 357 up. That'd be some good fishing back in there, Georgia boy. That would be some good fishing. I bet you get into some shoal bass and I ain't no telling I guarantee you there's some big old crappie back in there. Oh, awesome, GUW. That's probably about the same gun Georgia boy's got, except I don't know if his is ported or not. The one I had that Dan Wesson, a Dan Wesson with a 6-inch barrel, and that's the one that got stole out of the car. It's been a long time ago, but there's no telling what that Dan Wesson would be worth now. I bet I didn't pay $300 for that pistol. But I don't know. There's no telling what that 357. It had a 6-inch barrel and I had an 8-inch barrel. 2 barrels came with it. Oh, I got you, CNT. Well, I imagine after this week, it's going to be a lot of rain coming down that river if we get what they say we're going to get, Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, you know how they are here. The forecast ain't never right. So I don't know if we're going to get what they're saying we're going to get, but if we do get what they're saying we're going to get, river's probably going to be up pretty good by the end of the week. Yeah, that's true, Dan. I got to agree with that. Okay, either somebody just shot off a firecracker or somebody shot out front of the house. Here, you don't really never know. Oh, I love that gun, GDW, because they were well built guns too. I wish I'd have had the kit that had that had all the barrels, but this guy had only bought the two. He had only bought the kit that had 2 barrels with it. But I know like Georgia boy's got that one. I think he's got a bunch of barrels with his. But yeah, that was a sweet shooting gun. It was just like a Smith, but it was about $200 cheaper, I think, than a Smith back then. And that was around 19. That was probably in 81 or 82 when I had that gun. The 8-inch barrel, and the 8-inch barrel was ported, had a ported barrel. The 6-inch was a regular barrel too. MB Heritage Farms, how you doing, Michael? Appreciate you coming by, brother. Tell me, have y'all been wet this week or have y'all been dry? Because we were just talking about my grass is browned out, looks terrible, but we're finally getting a little rain this morning, maybe some more this week. Yeah, I know, Dan. You were still a mere swaddling babe back then. Heck, by 81, I think I was working on my second marriage already. Yeah, I agree, GGW. They were Dan Wesson and Smith & Wesson were both two. I mean, those guns were made so well. That's why I wish I had it back, is just because of how good it shot. And the action was so good and smooth on that thing. Wow, Jerry, that's a deal right there. I mean, but back then, that was pretty much $325 to $400 was probably going price on those guns. A 686 or a Dan Wesson, any of those back then. I mean, of course, that was big money back then. But those same guns now, I guarantee you, it cost you $900 to $1,000 for that same 686, I bet. I mean, those guns hold value. But that's awesome you got that gun, Jerry. I always liked the 686. Well, that's good, Michael. I've been having to water every other day. I really need to set up some drip hoses, but I mean, I've been watering about every other day just because we've been in the upper 80s, 87, somewhere around there. But I mean, it hasn't been terribly bad. My yard, though, on the other hand, looks terrible. Garden's doing great, but the yard's just. I drove on it yesterday and I thought, God, I'm killing this grass because it was just crunching. But we got a good rain this morning, so if we get rain the rest of the week, it'll probably snap back. That's good. You're probably saving a little money, though, not having to water so much. Oh, yeah, Jerry. I mean, because you could probably buy a cheaper gun back then for $150, $200, but a 686 was, top of the line stuff. And $325 back then, even though it seemed high, it's not a bad price. Jerry, I've been seeing some videos from Burnt Church on the electroculture gardening. I haven't seen enough let me how to put this. I haven't seen it work good enough to go to all that extra work so far myself. Now I haven't watched all the videos on it, and I mean I can see the reasoning behind it, but I hadn't seen that it made enough difference to go the extra effort so far for me. Now I don't know what Michael thinks about it. He's a lot better gardener than me, but he may have a different take on it. Yeah, I mean, look at Burnt Church's video. He's doing tests on it right now. He's done about 4 videos on it. I think he's supposed to show some of the results this week coming up on one of his videos. I think he's had some plants that look like it helped them a little bit, and some plants it didn't do anything for. So, you know, that's what I say. I haven't seen enough on. I haven't seen it make enough difference for me to go the extra effort yet. I just think good soil and good drainage, you know, and plenty of sun is going to be the way to go, personally. Okay, Jerry, I'll have to check that one out. Deep South Homestead. I'll check that out because I hadn't seen that one on it. There's 3 or 4 channels doing videos on them, though, I think. I don't know. I kind of like the hydroponics, like just doing our best. Shirley and them do some cool stuff with hydroponics, and that, to me, that looks like that's a kind of a pretty cool deal there. I don't know what the upstart is on it, you know, cost wise, but I kind of like the hydroponic stuff. Yeah, I agree, Dan. That's why I say I don't know the cost of startup going hydroponics, but I mean, I've seen some people grow some pretty good weed in hydroponics. Okay, Jerry, thanks. I'll go back and click on it after the live stream, and I'll see if I can check it out. There you go, Michael. I agree, brother. No, CNT, you know I don't smoke no dope. I'm just saying I've seen people, you know, grow it, hydroponics. Mostly videos. Now, I have enough trouble keeping my hands out of traps on good days. I've caught myself enough times I got where it doesn't even bother me anymore. Oh, okay, Jerry. I'll do a video, or I'll film the garden sometime next day or two. It's doing good. I got a lot of blooms. Got a lot of stuff starting to. Won't be long before I'll be picking some stuff. Yeah, there you go, Dan. You need to start a growing channel. Dark 30 Outdoors. How you doing, brother? I appreciate you coming by. Thank you a bunch. Hope y'all having a great week. Deep water culture. Well, I don't know, Michael, what Shirley them is, what kind of deal they got running, but they got quite a hydroponics set up there at their house. And I mean, I'm talking about regular vegetables now, not weed, but but I mean, I'm sure it's the same premise, I would think, on how you would grow them. But they get some unbelievable plants, regular plants in their hydroponics tank, and those are pretty good sized tanks. Yeah, we're doing good, brother. I appreciate you coming by. Oh yes, C&T. Now that's one thing I ain't never caught myself in a 330, but that's one thing I've got a certain system I use. And so far, knock on wood, I ain't never caught myself in a 330, but I've caught myself in regular coyote traps many a time. But I watch myself mighty close when I mess with them conibears. Conibear is the only thing that scares me. Bernie Sanchez, how you doing, Bernie? What's going on, brother? We've already been talking lingua. I hope you're doing good, Bernie. I hope you're good and healthy. I knew you had one, Georgia boy. I just couldn't remember how many barrels you had. I had 2 of the 4 barrels with mine, but I didn't have the other 2 barrels. That's 6-inch and an 8-inch ported barrel. But I just wish I had that gun back. There's Michael Hurtnick. How you doing, Michael? Appreciate you coming by, brother. Oh man, we're talking about a little bit of everything today. Oh, cool, Michael. I think it's the way to go if you've got the facilities to do it. Put it that way. Because I've seen some pretty cool grow stuff like that. Michael, what you been up to, brother? Bernie's making pizza. Man, you're gonna make me hungry now, Bernie. I got me some hot wings I'm gonna heat back up. I was gonna put a butt roast on the grill and it rained me out. Mexican pizza. That sounds good, Bernie. Yeah, C&T, that's exactly the way I am. I've got a certain way I do it, and I do it the same way every time to keep my hands out of that trap. Because I know if I get caught in that trap, I ain't getting out of it. And when you're down there by yourself, that'd be a bad deal, especially if it breaks your hand. Ain't no problem, Michael. We're just hanging out and we're talking a little bit about everything. There you go, Michael. Now, a 330 or a 220 is two traps you don't want to mess up with. Like I said, everything I do, that's the only two traps that scare me is a 330 or a 220. I got a lot of respect for either one of those traps because they will break your hand. Hell, they'll probably break your arm. Oh, no lingua pizza now, Dan. Hey, Rob, I appreciate you hanging in there for so long, brother. Hope y'all have a good rest of your weekend and a great week ahead. Irene, thank you so much. You know we enjoy having you in. And I don't know. I wish you could get you some new neighbors, but I'm not going to tell you to move because I know you love it there. But I would definitely have to run my neighbors off somehow. But you have a great week, Irene. Be careful. No, I don't see it. I don't never do that CNT. I'm very careful when it comes setting 330s. No, Dan, we can't go that route. Yeah, I mean, I ain't scared of any of my steel traps, but 330 and the 220 are the only two that scare me. But at the same time, it's my two favorite traps because I think the way they work are just awesome. I think it's the best designed trap they ever had. Yeah, I've caught quite a few snapping turtles in mine too. I've caught some of them that didn't even phase them. I've caught some of them that they didn't come out so well. But I've caught some snapping turtles. I can't believe they got it. They got inside the levers. They were so big. They'd be in there kind of cockeyed. I've caught some big old snapping turtles in them things. Matter of fact, I caught a goose last year, 2 years ago. I caught a goose in a 330 trap. And you know what? It didn't even, I had him right around the neck, right across the neck, but he was on the side of the trap. It didn't hurt that goose a bit. I unsprung that 330 and that goose took off and flew and swam off. And I couldn't believe I caught a goose in that thing. Michael, I couldn't do it, I don't think. Yeah, I agree, CNT. Drowner rods work good too, but yeah, I don't think the accuracy is good. You lose more on a drowner rod than you'd ever lose on a 330. I don't lose them usually on a 330 unless something else sets it off like a turtle. Michael. Yeah, I know. It's weird. Sometimes some things in a 330 just don't kill them. But I've never had a beaver get out of a 330 or a otter, either one. Well, y'all, we got 13 in here. I hate to shut it down, but I got stuff I got to get done while it ain't raining. I really appreciate all y'all being in here. Y'all always hang in here with me best you can. But look, if some of you wasn't in here when I first started the live stream, Owls Outdoors. If y'all go over there and watch some videos of Owls or run his playlist, his wife needs a double lung transplant, and there's a GoFundMe, but I'm gonna have to put that out on my community page because I don't know. I saw it on Facebook, but I don't know how to put it on here. So any of y'all that can help the GoFundMe account, it's Owls Outdoors. And if nothing else, if you can just watch some of his playlists, get him some watch hours, that'll help him. But I'm gonna try and give some money on his GoFundMe. But I appreciate all y'all each week being here, man. Y'all make it so cool. But I am gonna have to run because I got a bunch of stuff to do. I know y'all probably got stuff to do coming up too. Yeah, Al's a good fella. He's a big part of the community, and his wife's been sick a good while. And for the longest time, they wouldn't let her on the donor list or whatever. So she's finally got approved now, but they got to pay for it. It's like $1 million. So let's try and help him out, guys. And I appreciate it, and thank all y'all for being here. I reckon I'll see you on the next one. Thank y'all. I really appreciate it. See you next week. I hope.